Hello everybody, it's me, it's PokemonTripHD, and welcome back to some more Dragalia Lost content. So today I'm going to be going over the new Fire Emblem Lost Heroes event and basically give you a guide on what to do, where to farm, and how it all works. Now this is mainly for newer players. I'm sure older players know the gist of how events work. So here we go. Basically, this event is the first crossover in Dragalia Lost, so there is no precedent for how these events work. This is the precedent for how these events work. Now, the main things you want to keep in mind for this event are going to be in the notice page. Now, I'm going to go over this notice page very quickly before I actually hop into the actual event and where to farm. So this is just going to be a bit of an overview on how the event works at first. So it just went live on April 25th. Now, that was a couple days ago at this point, but you got to learn how everything works. So in the future, I'll try to make these videos sooner when the event actually goes live. So I apologize for the delay. So basically, in this event, you get a free 5-star adventure just for participating, and that is Alphonse. Now, Alphonse is the light adventurer with the blue hair that you see. If you read the story, you'll know who he is. He's actually a great adventurer to use, so I highly recommend picking him up. Now, you don't get him until a few stories into the actual campaign of the events. So, not campaign, but like the story of the event. So you need to play a couple stories to get him. And once you get him, you need to play using him until he gets 500 friendship to actually keep him for the rest of the event. So please, please, please do that. If you don't do that, you cannot keep Alphonse once the event is done. So please, once you get Alphonse, use him to get to 500 friendship, then you can keep him. When you get to 500 friendship, there's a little notice thing on the actual event page, so you can see how much friendship you have with him. So just be sure to max that out. Now, it tells you how to play using these. Basically, what you do is you clear the campaign events and campaign quests to get these badges. Now, with the badges, you could either advance in the story, which you should 100% do. So you use them to unlock new story quests, so you can read them or play them. Or you can redeem them for treasures, which is probably the most important part. A lot of great treasures to redeem from this, so I'll go over those later. You get challenge defensive battles. Not challenge defensive battles. You can challenge defensive battles, which actually give you a really good amount of valor, and that's where you want to farm, which I'll go over soon. Then, of course, the event stories, which gets you rewards, and you get to see a lot of new people, etc., etc. Defensive battles, like I said, that's where you want to farm. There's also another type of battle, which I will show you guys later, which is not the place to farm, but you do want to do it for daily. So you can defend the gate, etc., 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 etc. Just tells you how to play. Now, the event's going to last until May 13th at 10:59 p.m. Pacific time. So Eastern time, that's going to be around 2 a.m. In a different time zone. It's going to be at a different time. Just be sure to check that out. This is the PST time or PT time, Pacific time. So the reward availability, though, you can redeem the rewards until May 20th. So if you don't redeem your rewards, don't worry about it. You can do it once the event is done. Don't even stress. Of course, this is just to let you know about temporary adventurers, the Valors, treasure trades. Now, of course, to obtain the event badges, you need to finish Chapter 2, 2-1, and the main campaign. The event is, or the quest is titled The Sylvan Archer, and that basically gives you access to co-op, and that's what you need to play this event. Now, if you're having trouble with this, as it says right here, if you're having trouble, be sure to clear Chapter 4, which lets you equip 2 worm prints on every single adventure, which is going to help a ton. So I highly recommend just going through this and completing up to Chapter 4. Even if you don't complete the whole campaign, just complete up to Chapter 4 at the very least if you're a newer player. It's going to help tremendously in your grinding, because you can, by equipping double worm prints, you can get more rewards, more valor from your quest, so it takes less stamina, etc. So even though you're leveling up a ton, don't even worry about it. I highly recommend completing Chapter 4 of the main campaign. Now, that's everything to do over here. Really quick, I want to mention, if you go over here and you click on the worm prints right here, you can actually buy these 2 worm prints, which give you Valor up. And I highly, highly recommend buying a couple of these, mainly the top one. Even though it's really expensive, you don't have the Eldwater to do that, then of course the bottom one will work if you get enough Eldwater to do that. Since I do highly recommend you summon on the showcase to get the limited adventures that will probably never return back into the game. So I highly recommend summoning for them. If you get some extra Eldwater, buy some of these. It lets you lets you get more Valor, as you can see right there. Valor plus 20%, Valor plus 30%. So you can equip these onto your adventurers right here. If you go over here, this is the slot where you equip the Worm Prince. These are the ones you want to equip, the ones with Valor plus 30%. A good way to filter through them is if you click Sorts and you click Event Perks, Search, you can only equip these 3 which give event perks. These are the 3 that you want on your adventurers. Now, you can't equip 2 of the exact same worm print on your adventurers, so please keep that in mind. And with that, I think we are good to actually get into the event now. So first things first, here is the friendship right here. That's where you can see how much friendship you have with Alphonse. Another cool thing is you can tap on these people over here and then you can switch who shows up, but that's just a little extra thing. So the treasure trade, what you want to redeem from this, I've already redeemed pretty much everything you want, but what you want to redeem, honestly, the first succulent fruit, the one where you get 20 of them for really cheap, you want to do that one. That's going to be really good. There's going to be some ingots which you want, which I believe there's even more ingots down here. There's going to be summoning vouchers, which you want. There's going to be a folk vanger, which you want. There's going to be stickers, which you want. There's going to be worm prints, which you want. Sunlight stone is probably the best item in the shop. You're going to want that. There's twinkling sand. You're going to want that. Golden keys are nice. Champion's testament. You're going to want that. Knight's testament is okay. If you're newer, you probably want a couple of those. And then, like I said, summon vouchers are probably going to be the next best thing. And the rest of them, you can just go from there. So worm prints. And the things that have only one remaining or very few of them remaining, you're going to want those ones because those are usually the best ones to get. Next up, the Valor Awards. This is the Valor that I was talking about, why you want to equip those worm prints to get the Valor. You got a ton of nice rewards from the Valor, including a lot of Eld Water, a lot of twinkling, well, not a lot of twinkling sands, but there's twinkling sands. You want to be sure to get these ones. These are very, very good. 10-fold summon voucher is amazing. 100% want that. Golden fragments, if you get a ton of them, you can build a golden key. So I definitely recommend those. And there's a ton of more great rewards. Now this reward thing goes all the way up to 10 million points, which is absolutely insane. Now you don't want to go all the way up to 10 million unless you want to get every single thing, which you could by all means go for it. You do get a lot of great rewards. Succulent fruits and Eld Water is amazing. 4-leaf clover, not so much, but succulent fruit and Eld Water is probably the best things you can get from this. I wouldn't say it's worth to spend so much time just grinding out the events, but if you're just playing the game and you manage to get there, that is amazing, you know? Of course that's amazing. Where you actually want to stop, where the rewards basically stop getting quote-unquote good, other than the Eld Water, of course, would be where the last choice is right here. Sunstone at 1 million points. Now, 1 million points is basically where you could stop, but while you're playing the event, you could keep going and keep going for the Eld Water and for the succulent fruit. Those are the main reasons you want to keep going all the way to 10 million points. That's the Valors. Now let's go into the actual quests and where you want to farm. So at the bottom over here is the event stories. This is where you can play through the stories. I believe you get Alphonse. Where is it? I think it might be the Prince from Another World. That's where you should get Alphonse, and then you can work on getting him. You can click. Remember, be sure to click on the event so you can actually get badges from other missions that are not in the event. And the rest of it, of course, there's going to be more unlocked on May 2nd or May 3rd, depending on your time zone. Once that unlocks, there should be a new guy right here, which is going to be Infernal, which should offer better rewards. So once that comes out, that's going to be the best place to farm. However, it has not been released yet, so I'm not going to be discussing that, but that should be the best place to farm once it releases. But for now, let's talk about the rest. So first of all, you have normal. You don't really want to farm here. You just want to clear it for the Endeavors and the Wormite. Same thing goes with hard. You just want to clear this for the Endeavors and the Wormite. But once you get to Lunatic, Rebel the Empire is where you want to do your 2 dailies. Now, you have to complete this twice every single day to complete the dailies. I highly recommend doing it, not only to complete the dailies, but it has some decent rewards. You know, you can get some worm prints from it. You can get some decent insignias. Now, this isn't where you want to spend your stamina. Just do it twice for the daily and then don't do it again for the rest of the day. That's all you really need to do for Rebel the Empire. Unless Infernal changes this, I don't see it changing. Alphonse's Trial is going to be very, very difficult for newer players. If you're a newer player, I honestly wouldn't worry too much about clearing this. You can get some nice rewards. You get a Twinkling Sand. No, not a Twinkling Sand. You get a Champion's Testament for clearing it. So it is a nice clear. I did post a video on how to clear it, so if you want to check that out, just check out the videos on my channel. But I wouldn't stress over this too much. It's not absolutely necessary, especially if you're a newer player. You shouldn't be running out of Champions Testaments already. So don't worry too much about it if you're a newer player. It doesn't have the best rewards other than the Twinkling Sand fragment thing, Twinkling Grain right here. This is probably the best reward that it does have, which is a pretty good reward. But you can get the Twinkling Grains from right here, the Albarian Front on Hard. Now this, you can get Twinkling Grains and golden fragments. Now what you get them from is from the Shadow Knight. Now the Shadow Knight only appears on well, the only way you can really beat it is through co-op. You can try by yourself. It's going to take you a very long time to beat him by yourself though. What I mean by that is it's going to take you a good amount of time. Since you're probably gonna need a healer as well on your team, you just need to adjust your team too much for that, and you're gonna use up a lot of time. Sorry about the stutter. You're gonna use up a lot of time trying to beat him, and there's a time endeavor, a time valor thing on it. Also, this is gonna be the best place to farm. I just want to mention that this is gonna be the best place to farm. It tells you kind of how it works right here. I highly recommend just picking like a healer, just so you can actually heal your squad up. Now be sure you're running a lot of event perks. Max out all the event perks that you can. Now remember, this is not going to be the only way to get badges. You can get badges just by playing any mission really. Now those spinny things, you want to roll into them or hit them to unlock the bridges. Now, as you saw on the minimap, the bridge actually became undone and you can actually walk through that area. These houses, you need to roll into those blue lights for it to actually count as completing and saving the house. So be sure you roll into the house once you actually save it. So you want to go through those houses over there, and once you run through the blue gate lights, that should count as the house being cleared. Then the Shadow Knight spawns around this area right here. This is where the Shadow Knight spawns, and you can take him out. I don't recommend challenging him on solo. I'm not even sure if he spawns on solo, to be honest, but on co-op, he does spawn there, and it should be fairly easy to take him out on solo. Now, if you're playing on solo, which is the best way to farm this event, what you want to do is try completing it before the 6-minute mark. Once it goes down to the 6-minute mark, that's when you lose out on the quest to get more Valor, and you're doing this for maximum farming efficiency, which is to get the most Valor as possible with the least amount of stamina possible. So if you can complete this within the 6-minute mark, you do get a good reward with your Valor. I'm going to go over the Valors all really quickly right now. Like I said, the main ones you want to be doing, if you're playing co-op, you want to defeat the Shadow Knight, as that grants 50% extra Valor. Other than that, the other one with 50% extra Valor is finish with 360 or more seconds remaining, which is the 6 minutes remaining, of course. Finish with your Gates HP at 100% or above, which is 100% pretty much. That's what you want to try doing, but it is difficult on solo. On co-op, you should be able to do that. Just split up with your team members so you can get that one done. But on solo, it is a bit difficult to do. So that is the most efficient place to farm for your Valor. You get a ton of Valor, as you saw in that. So I highly, highly recommend you do that one. Get as much Valor as possible, and it gets you closer to getting that 10 million mark and all the rewards. Now, hopefully this guide helps you. Of course, remember the best place to farm is at the Albarian Front Hard by yourself at the moment. There may be a better place to farm on Infernal, or if they release a harder difficulty of the Albarian Front. However, that might not be able to be done on solo. So if you're using your stamina on solo, of course, the Albarian Front Hard is the best place to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any tips, please leave it in the comment section down below. If you have anything else to add or say, if I got anything wrong, leave it in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck with the event and happy farming. Take care.